Welcome back to the Cars of Queens YouTube channel. As you guys probably can already tell by the thumbnail and the title, this is definitely going to be one of my more ambitious projects. This is my latest New York City taxi pickup. I know I haven't picked up an actual LWB New York City taxi that you guys know and love and come to this channel to watch. So I finally got another one. These have gotten really hard to find. When there were like 30 left in service, they were relatively easy to find. I knew all the owners, I knew everybody, but now all of them are pretty much gone. There isn't any in service anymore, and these are being really hard to find. Even for me, who is someone that pretty much knows all of them all around New York City. I've pretty much spotted all of them. I know all of the final owners, but this is 3F58. It's a 2007. It's sold brand new at Best Ford, which was on Jamaica Avenue. Now I guess it's called Best Auto Outlet. They don't sell Fords anymore, but as you guys can see, this one's been rear-ended. It's got a nasty crunch. It's got a quarter panel dent, as you guys can see over here. And when I bought it, the trunk closed, but not any longer. Made the mistake of opening it, and it never closed back again. So as you guys can see, it's punched in right over here. I actually just removed the tail light, so tail light's unusable. That's the least of my concern though. Broken tail light, cheap, easy. I got a bunch of them laying around. My biggest concern is pulling the rear end of this car. That's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be easy, because what the story was with this is I ran into the owner of this near my house actually, and I flipped around, I chased him down, I got up next to him, I honked at him, I told him to roll down the window, and I said, "Hey, I love your Crown Vic, do you want to sell it at any time?" And he's like, "You know what, not right now, but I'm thinking maybe in the near future I will." So I ended up exchanging contact information with that gentleman, and we kept in touch for 3 years. I would ask him every so often, "Hey, what's going on? How's the car? Everything go right? Do you want to sell it?" And for a while, he kind of brushed me off. He didn't really want to sell it. But after this rear end damage, he was pretty much ready to junk the car. And I pretty much came in, saved the day, saved it from the scrapper. As you guys could see, this thing's not going to be easy. It's definitely more ambitious of a project, but this is what I love to do. I love to keep these things going, keep them alive. With a little bit of love, she can be back to her old former glory. I already have the parts car. You guys can't see it, but it's very close by. It's a 2005 Massachusetts State Trooper marked car, which more on that to come. But this car is in really nice shape in certain aspects. And what I mean by that, it's got no rust. It's got only 144,000 miles. Very low. The car was driven by the owners that I bought it from. It was driven by his grandpa until he retired in 2012. So only 5 years as a taxi, and in the 5 years it only racked up 90,000 miles, which is crazy. Usually these cabs are driven 24 hours a day unless they're owner operator cabs such as this one. And being that it's an owner operator car, it means it wasn't dogged. It wasn't driven 24 hours a day by two different shifts of cabbies, so therefore was saved from much of the abuse that a typical New York City taxi cab would endure. Think about it. The average cab racks up 50,000 miles in a year. This racked up 90,000 in 5 years. So overall, relatively super low mileage. Let's dive on inside. Let's take a look at the inside of a 144,000 mile taxi cab. So here we are inside. All the buttons, controls are there. It's got a bunch of lights on the dash. Gauge cluster is rather dim. It's got a bunch of lights, as you guys can see. Check engine light, airbag lights, parking brake, ABS light, everything. It's a Christmas tree in there. Overall, the vinyl seats are in fantastic condition. Minimal rips. This is nothing compared to some of the cars on the channel that you guys have seen. I know you guys remember two H85 and two W34, some of the beatest cars ever. Those cars ran 24 hours a day. It was insane. Compared to that, this thing is like an infant. This is like a brand new car in comparison. Power steering's a little bit tight, I think the pump's starting to go out. It's still decent, as you guys can see. It's not too bad. You can hear it whining a little bit, but it's gonna go out in the next, you know, maybe 2 years or so. Let's go on inside. Let's see that spacious rear legroom that you get in the New York City taxi package Crown Vics. Those extra couple of inches add a ton of comfort to the Crown Vic, which is normally a car that you have surprisingly don't have a lot of legroom in the standard wheelbase. And you have the vents here. Assuming there was a partition in here based on these drill holes, but it was taken out, obviously, probably around the time of retirement. These rear seats are in decent shape. This front passenger seat's usually always the seat that's in the nicest shape because rarely anyone sits over here. But the interior is not bad at all. It wouldn't be a Crown Vic if it's not missing the cup holder tray thingy. Those never are there. It's got a check engine light on, or I think some evap code. But other than that, it's not bad at all for a $145. What's crazy is that this car actually has less miles than 6C70, which, if you guys remember, that car, it was the nicest one I've ever seen, and you guys will probably have ever seen. That car lives in Canada. I know the owner, Malcolm McPherson. I'm sure you guys have seen some content on 6C76 all over Instagram if you guys pay attention to these cars. Gauge is really light, but check engine light is on this car. That's the least of my concern, though. My main concern with this car is the body damage. It came with brand new tires. It runs and drives pretty well. It's got cold AC and it's got no electrical issues, which is really nice on a Crown Vic, to get one where all the switches and stuff work, where the AC works. But tough part now is going to be doing all that body work. These tires are cheap, but they have excellent tread, so I can't complain. I bought this car for only 500 bucks because of all that damage. It pretty much totals out the car. I don't think anyone else really would have wanted it. But take a look underneath. Minimal rust, really nice shape under there. This was used as like a backup car, as the hoopty car, as the owner had mentioned to me. I need some paint work done. I'm not going to repaint this front bumper, but everything else I'm going to return back to yellow as it should be. What's very strange, and you guys tell me if you know anything more about this than I do, a lot of the cars from Best Ford came with this black plastic bumper that normally all the cars from the other Ford dealerships did not come with. Most of them would come with body matched yellow, but the ones at Best would come with this primer or unpainted black bumper, which is really strange. I've never seen any cars from any other dealerships, but the cars from Best Ford seem to come with that, only on the front bumper. This racing stripe, it's gotta go. It's hideous, it's terrible. And so does this white header panel. These header panels always break on these cars, so gotta get that repainted. I guess I'm gonna do all of that at once with the body work. That's the biggest concern that I have right now with this car, is obviously the fact that the trunk won't close and this is punched all the way in. How this actually happened was a drunk driver came flying down the really narrow street which the owner of this car had lived on, and he plowed into a bunch of cars, massive pileup accident, and that's what caused all this damage. Unfortunately, this is definitely going to be costly to repair. Weather stripping is kind of bent in. This whole area, I wish it wasn't bent in. I wish it was limited to the bumper and the bumper supports underneath, but unfortunately everything is like really bent in, so we definitely got to get that stuff pulled out. But once I do so, I'm going to repaint the header panel, repaint the bumpers. What's really unfortunate is that this trunk panel, it has that Best Ford sticker, and unfortunately this trunk panel is pretty destroyed. I'm gonna still try to keep it, maybe hang it up on my wall or something, but I really love seeing this old Best Ford sticker. Adds character to the vehicle for sure. You got a 17-inch spare right over there. And another thing that's really cool, God, that's dirty, is this Best Ford mud flap. I can't wait to put that back on. I got to clean it up, restore it a little bit. But Best Ford doesn't even exist. It's just Best Auto Outlet. It's in Queens Village, Belrose on Jamaica Avenue. But really cool remnants of the the past of New York City history. This car is so nostalgic. Ever since I got rid of the last LWB I had, every time it's like I get it, I get a little bit bored of it, I sell it, I miss it, and then I buy another one, and the cycle kind of repeats. But I don't think I'll really find one with like such low miles, especially for such cheap. I don't think I'm gonna get rid of this one. I think I just gotta have a couple LWBs just for myself, a yellow one. I have a black one, as you guys probably know if you guys are watching the Instagram posts. But paint, look at that, look at that. Really, really nice. And I haven't even washed it. Look at how that paint looks. But I'm gonna get this trunk force closed, and hopefully I'm gonna keep you guys posted on what's to come with this car. I got a whole parts car. I'm gonna be stripping it, so that's probably gonna be the next YouTube video, is the parts car. We're gonna be stripping it. We're gonna be donating all the parts to all my other Panther cars, so that's gonna be really, really fun. Stay tuned for that. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and more Panther content coming every Sunday, guys.